I know what it takes to hit that elusive 100K per month. I really wanted to spend the time in this video breaking it down so that you can see it's way more achievable than you think it is. If you're like, prove it, Courtney, you're in luck because I'm getting ready to right now. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, and I love helping people really scale and grow their businesses. In fact, I have quite a few clients who have hit not only the six-figure mark, but the multi-six-figure and going on to seven-figure mark. And being an entrepreneur that has crossed the seven-figure and this year will likely do multiple seven figures myself, I know what it takes to hit that elusive 100K per month. And so I have a few videos that you can check out here where I talk about the breakdown of how I create 100K per month in my business, but I really wanted to spend the time in this video breaking it down so that you can see it's way more achievable than you think it is. So I know it's gonna sound crazy to say, but making 100K per month in your business is actually not that hard. And in fact, I'm gonna prove it. So if you're like, prove it, Courtney, you're in luck because I'm getting ready to right now. So I actually got the inspiration to do this video from a friend of mine who sent me an article that was going around on LinkedIn from basically a disgruntled job seeker. So this was someone who was relatively high up. I want to say they were probably a six-figure earner, probably like mid or senior manager. And I guess they had been laid off from their company and they were really complaining and feeling really frustrated because they had submitted over 2,000 resumes and they hadn't really gotten a call back, or they had done interviews and the company ended up hiring internally. And so it was just this like really disgruntled kind of, I don't know, article or post on LinkedIn where some people were saying like, yeah, you know, riding with this, like, yeah, I can really relate to that and I'm going through the same situation. But as I read that, I was like, wow, I actually felt really bad because it just proved the point to me that it's actually more competition at lower levels than it is at higher levels. And I really learned this from the book, The Magic of Thinking Big, which I would highly recommend, where it's crazy, even though that book I think was written in like maybe the 1930s or 1940s, don't quote me, maybe the 1950s, I don't know. It was written a while ago. They actually talk about that same situation in that book. So granted, they're not talking about LinkedIn because LinkedIn hadn't been created yet, but the author talks about how a job posting had posted a job and they were saying, hey, I think it was an engineering job, and they were saying, we're looking for this position, it pays, you know, $100,000 a year and blah, blah, blah. Now granted, back then $100,000 a year was a lot more money than it is today, but they had done this posting and virtually, you know, no one applied for it. And so I don't know the reason why or if it was an experiment, but they ended up putting the same job posting out for a much lower amount, say $30,000 a year, and they were inundated and flooded with people who were submitting their resume. And so whether it was this, you know, example from the book or even this article that was floating around that my friend forwarded to me, it really crystallized the truth that I know now is really a thing, that people do not value themselves. People do not value themselves a lot. And oftentimes there is more competition for lower levels of value, both in, you know, corporate America or going after jobs, or even when it comes to pricing yourself. You know, oftentimes there is more competition for people who are trying to sell services at a lower price point than it is for people who can sell services at a higher price point. And so part of the reason why it's not that hard to hit 100K per month is because most people have not trained themselves to think at a higher level of value. Anyone, I believe, if you are a working professional, can do something for somebody that would be of the value where you can make 100K per year, let alone 100K per month. And in fact, I just did this recently after so many people were asking me. I actually came up with a new offer where it's a complete done for you offer. So I talk a lot about how in my signature program, I've worked with instructional designers who are building the courses for me. I have an entire team that helps repurpose my social media content, even these YouTube videos that I am doing here. We have systems in the background that sells a lot of our programs on autopilot. Well, I've had so many people ask me like, hey, I'm too busy. You know, I'm already a successful business owner in this other arena, but I want to get into online coaching and building my personal brand. I don't want to learn how to do it for you. Can you just do it for me? And for a really long time, I kind of blew people off and I said, no, that's not something I'm going to be able to offer, not because I wasn't willing to offer it, but because I knew how expensive it was going to be, right? Because I know how much I'm paying my team. I know how much it costs me to do instructional design. And I was like, man, you know, for the price that I would have to charge in order to be able to do that for you, I just wasn't sure that it would be worth it. But after getting so many people asking me, I finally came up with a situation where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it for you. It's gonna cost this much down. And actually I'm gonna take a percentage of the revenue that we generate for you, because that's the only way that I could get paid commensurate at the level level of the value that we're actually providing. And I've had people going over backwards saying like, yes, I will sign up for that, even though it might mean that over the course of me doing this project for them, one client might very well pay me 6 figures or even multiple 6 figures, because again, there's a part down and then a commission part that we are doing for them. But people are happily signing up because they're like, there's so much value in this, I cannot wait to pay you for that. And so that's what I'm saying. A lot of times it's not a matter of, oh, it's hard to make this much money. It's hard to make 100K a year. It's hard to make 100K per month. Or now in my instance, it's hard to make 100K per client. It's not hard. It's all about the level of value that you are willing to provide. And most people don't even realize that the value that they are offering, there are people who would pay more, but they're turned off that your prices are so low and they're actually going across the street. In fact, this happened to me for a really long time in like 2018, 2019. I was really frustrated because I was coaching a lot of clients one-on-one and I was charging like $197 for like these low ticket masterclasses, but I was given so much in there and I wasn't making nearly the amount of sales that I wanted to make. And I was like, what is this? Like, you know, I have a large audience. I don't understand why people aren't buying. And so it wasn't until I started working with my own coach who really helped me open my eyes and really see that I had a lot more to offer and people wanted more value from me. And so she convinced me, I was like, there's no way anybody's gonna pay for this, but she convinced me to charge $20,000 for a coaching package. At the time, that was my highest package. Now that's definitely not my highest package, but at the time that was. And I was amazed that I had people thanking me saying, I have watched you for years. I've watched you do these like low ticket master classes and I've been waiting for you to offer something at this level because this is the value and the caliber that I really want from you. So where do I sign up? And I had people sign up like right away for a 20K coaching program. So I tell you this, again, one, it's a mindset that it's not that difficult, but also it's the mechanics and the math. But before we get into the mechanics and the math, I want to hear from you. Do you think hitting 100K per month is hard? Share in the comments below. All right, so let's get into the mechanics and the math of it all. It's really not that difficult, right? So the reason most people struggle to hit 100K per month is because they are offering low value, right? I know a lot of people are on this kick where they want to offer these low ticket memberships, right? Oh, $100 a month membership, because they think if I could just get somebody in that, you know, I'm going to be able to make more sales, but that's really not how it works. I even see people selling like $10 ebooks, $10 memberships, which, you know, is a terrible idea. And the reason it's a terrible idea is because of the amount of sales that you would have to make. So think about this. If you have a $10 ebook, you would have to sell 10,000 of those ebooks in 1 month in order to hit 100K per month. Now, here's what people don't understand. It takes just as much energy and effort to sell a $10 product as it does to sell a $10,000 product. So if it requires the same amount of energy and effort, you might as well sell the higher price point because you need to sell less of them. So again, it's gonna take you so much time, so much money. That's another thing that people don't realize is it's not easy to sell something just because it's low ticket. It actually costs a lot of money to be able to sell something at the low ticket price. But again, the math and mechanics, if you wanna make 100K per month and you are selling a $10 ebook, it's gonna require you to sell 10,000 copies in order to hit your numbers, which is very difficult. Ditto, if you are selling, you know, a $97 masterclass or a $97 a month membership or something of that nature, you're gonna have to sell 1,000 of those in a month in order to hit 100K. However, when we start to offer a higher level of value, for instance, if you were able to sell something at the $10,000 level, you only need to sell 10 in order to hit 100K a month. This is why I'm saying it's not that difficult. In fact, I have a client who came with me to South Africa and she was so excited to talk about everything that she's done in her business. And again, she came on this retreat that I held in South Africa in February, and she was super excited to tell me that she hit $500,000 in her business. And I asked her how many clients did she work with over the course of the year in order to hit that number, and she said 40, right? That's it, 40 clients, which means that her average package was around $12,000. So you have to understand that there are people paying that because they want results that are worth that and more. And so if you are struggling to hit the 100K per month mark in your business, it's not difficult. You're just gonna have to dig down deep and think, what is something that you can offer that would be worth that and more, and you'll have people lining up to buy it. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and you wanna get to the place where you can do this as well, I invite you to book a call with my team where we can let you know about one of two offers. So the first one is my flagship program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp, which teaches you A to Z how to build a business that can command these types of prices. But if you're like, you know, the busy entrepreneur that I mentioned who is like, I don't want to learn how to do this, I want you to do it for me, we do have an opportunity for a very select amount of people. I'm like super strict about this because I know the exact type of person that I am looking for and the type of person that I can get results for. But we do have a done for you service where we'll build out the course. We will do everything, the social media, set up the marketing, do everything in order to hit those sales. It is, you know, a down payment retainer plus a commission on the sales that we make for you on the back end. But if that's something that is of interest to you, you can talk to my team about it by clicking the link below to book a call where we can go over either of those options. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next video, make sure that you are subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure that you are following me on Instagram, CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.